The shoujo demographic of manga is a demographic that mainly focuses on the female audience. Now, that is not to say that the male audience will not particularly enjoy this type of demographic, but when you are heading into a shoujo manga, you are more than likely to come across romance. Now, romance in manga or in any other form of literature for that matter is something that I personally do not actually go out of my way to venture out and discover. It's something that I just can't get into. It just seems that most forms of literature focus and rely too heavily on the romance aspect and not the overall story. So when you come across the word shoujo, especially for the male audience, you are probably going to be immediately turned off just because of the romance factor. Now, don't get me wrong, I know for a fact that there are other shoujo manga out there that don't really focus on the romance factor. There's Fruits Basket, there is Vampire Knight, you have these other shoujo manga that have other themes to them, not particularly focusing on the romance factor. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of Koko ni Iru Yo. I am here. This is a story about friendship, not love, but the personal growth of the individual. So let's get it started. Our story begins with Sumino Hikage, the female protagonist of the series. Sumino is a character that I think most people can relate to, as it is very hard for her to communicate with other people, and because of this, she has lived her life only knowing that her existence is pretty much non-existent, as she even states herself that she has a 0% presence score. However, Sumino finds comfort by spending most of her time on the internet, as she has her own blog where she posts pictures and tells others about her day-to-day life. She even has 2 online friends who she talks to frequently, going by the users named Black Rabbit and Mega Pig. Everything changes for Sumino when one day 2 of the most popular boys in the school named Teru and Hinata take a notice to Sumino, and because of this, it makes the surrounding students who didn't particularly notice Sumino before start to notice her as well. This becomes an overall good thing, as the manga then tries to push Sumino into a better lifestyle where she will be able to communicate with her peers, have confidence within herself, and most importantly, blossom like a sunflower. However, this also leads to Sumino getting into particular situations where she has to rely on herself in order to solve the problem. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This manga was very easy to predict, especially to what's gonna happen next. I mean, we know by the end of the manga, Sumino is going to end up a changed person. Also, we have some sort of grasp that either Black Rabbit or Mega Pig have to be either Hinata or Teru, the most popular guys in the school, because the way that it is presented in the manga is very, very ironic. The 2 people that Sumino has the most connectability with are her online friends, Black Rabbit and Mega Pig, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have these 2 kids who show up and notice Sumino. So it's very easy to say, oh, you know what, this must be Black Rabbit and Mega Pig. Also, in my opinion, I think that Teru and Hinata probably have to be the most blandest characters within the manga, because, I mean, I really didn't care for them whatsoever, and even though we got some sort of past about their characters and like why they act the way they act, it still didn't strike me that I should really sympathize for these characters, and they just didn't stand out to me. If it's anybody who actually interested me through this manga, who I actually could relate to on a certain extent, it would have to be Sumino. Now, I will say this, while we did get confirmation on Black Rabbit's character in the manga, we are left with the question, well, who exactly is Mega Pig? And we find out Mega Pig's true identity through a one-shot side story that actually ties along within this manga, and this I actually really appreciate, as it gave a more in-depth view on who exactly is Mega Pig and how this certain individual reacts in real world situations, compared to how in the main story we see how Sumino reacts to certain real world situations. But still, even then, I think this character was pretty bland. It really seems like all these characters, the boys, however, are really bland in terms of the girls. However, Sumino tends to be the only interesting character, in my opinion, throughout this manga. But compared to the other characters within the series, they seem very bland and not that well thought out. But I mean, I guess I can cut this manga some slack because that's just due to the fact that this manga is very, very short. In total, this manga is probably like 21 chapters with about 30 pages each, and if you're counting the side stories, then it's 21 chapters. So in reality, it's actually 19 chapters because there are 2 side stories. One is very short, and then one just goes over Megapig's identity, like I said before. But like I said before as well, is that you really cannot connect with the boys. Really, the only person who you connect with throughout this manga is Sumino, because it seems like more time was spent on developing her character than the rest of the characters within the series. Now, the artwork to this manga I found was very unique for a shoujo manga compared to other shoujo manga you have out there. I mean, of course you have the big eyes and the flashy panels, but the artwork to this manga specifically looks as if it was drawn more for a shonen audience. However, this is most likely due to the mangaka's style. Still, this is not a bad thing whatsoever, as this actually is a plus to how the manga is perceived. It has a shonen look to it, but it still manages to keep the core shoujo elements, which I found was executed quite well. What I also enjoyed was how the chibis were drawn as well. They were just so funny and cute to look at that at times while reading this manga, I actually laughed out loud. So that about wraps it up for my review of I Am Here. This story is a manga that focuses on the character's growth in general and not on the romance factor, which I thought was very interesting, especially while reading a shoujo manga, because like I stated before, when you come across shoujo manga, you are expecting to get romance, but romance is only sprinkled in within this manga, and it focuses more on the story than the actual romance itself. Now, despite the fact that I might have certain problems with certain characters throughout this manga and other nuances, I've actually really come to enjoy this manga, as it tells a simple story about a simple girl who just wants to try to overcome her current lifestyle and bring forth the new in order to show that she actually exists throughout the world, rather than being seen like she is cast aside and that she is worth nothing to the world. And I'm pretty sure that is something that we can all relate to. We all just, at one point of our life, we all wanted to be accepted by someone, and we just wanted to feel that we were there, that we are noticed, you know. And this is the whole thing with the sunflower, how the sunflower is always brought up through the manga. The sunflower symbolizes Sumino's character and her growth and how she shines by the end of the manga, which is a very rewarding process for not only her character, but for those around her as well, who helped her out. And I mean, Teru and Hinata might not be the most standoutish characters that you have read in any manga, but in some form, they did actually help out our main character, you know, bring forth her new life and actually communicate with her peers, and to overall just have a better lifestyle than the one she was currently living. So really, that about does it for my review, guys. I actually really enjoy this manga, and like I stated before, it is something that we can all relate to. And if there is anybody that you need to talk to about certain situations, just remember, I'll be your sunflower. What, too much? But yeah, that about does it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my manga review of I Am Here. Thank you, CandykOh, for recommending me this manga to review. It was a very fun read, and I am now more than ever ready to actually go forth and see if there is any other shoujo manga out there that are like this one as well, that don't focus too much on the romance, but more on the story side of things. And I'm also interested on more of this mangaka's work, as apparently she has another series called Missions of Love, which spans around 18 volumes, and apparently is her most notable work, so that I am very excited to see. As always, guys, if you like this video, please give it a like and let me know in the comments down below if there is anything in particular you would like for me to review in the near future, and I will try my very best in order to review them. I just gotta get some of the other manga and anime that I have to review off my backlog, and as soon as those are out of the way, I will get onto your recommendations as soon as possible. And as always, if you like the video and you want to see more content from me, please hit the red subscribe button below and you'll never miss a video from me. That about does it for the video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you guys next time.